Welcome to the Beige Planet Podcast. I'm Paul Pate.
I'm Al Lawrence.
Our guest today is movie director, animator, film extraordinaire, Jim Lujan. Welcome, Jim.
Thank you guys for having me on. Appreciate it.
It's great having you, man. I'm a big, huge
Welcome to the
fan.
show.
Yeah, I'm a big, huge fan. Here's going to be our interview, okay? I'm going to share my screen here. Hang on, guys. Share screen.
So why don't we start with a little bit of background,
Yeah, go ahead.
Jim?
Oh, my background.
Yep.
I thought something was going to happen in your background. So.
Sorry. Can you see conversation?
I totally can see it. Yeah.
John Arthur Fabregato. Is this
Oh,
who's
wow.
this guy? It reminds me of the Actors Studio. I don't know if that was.
That's totally, yeah. You know
Yeah,
what's funny is Paul sent me a note, or he made a comment. He said, "I'm going to be John Arthur Fabregato,"
Yeah.
and I didn't get it. I was like, I don't get it. Like, who is that? And then I realized,
Yeah, this is because it's incredible how many different films you've made.
yeah, it's an illness.
Here's John going through all of them. Up in My Grill.
Wow, that's pretty cool.
Freak Daddy. Hitting Switches. And there's the Jim Lujan.
That's me, exactly what I look like that. I'm okay. So I started doing animatic cartoons, which are that's kind of what they use to plan out real cartoons. You know, that they don't have any movement; they're just like storyboards with voices and music sometimes, and slowly progressed into a little bit of movement here and there, and now I have a little bit more movement. But originally, I wanted to do graphic novels. When I first started, I thought I had all these ideas for these different movies and different scenarios, and I thought, oh, what a great way! A graphic novel is like a little movie in your pocket, you know, and sat down to turn some of these ideas into graphic novels. And realize, okay, you just opened up a whole can of worms. It's very time-consuming, and it's just as much, in a way, it's just as much work as animation to do a graphic novel, because there's a lot more. You don't just, maybe some people just sit down and do them, you know, but...
Oh, the planning part of it? And the
yeah,
scripting?
and the scripting and the...
I think a lot of people have an author, and then they have illustrators do the drawing part of it. But
I wanted to early on. I always have done music, just, you know, hobby for fun, whatever, and
Right.
and I wanted to incorporate the music somehow into the stories, because it kind of drives them a little bit, and then I've never consciously done voices, but I think I've always done voices. And I wanted to incorporate those too. So this was the best way. Animation to me was the best way to make a film, because with live action you usually need a cast. I don't have
right. But with this, you can do. There's no limit. You can be wherever you want. You can have however many characters. You can be in space. You can, it's incredible. So I sat down. How I discovered you was I sat down to work on my graphic novel, my second graphic novel, which I'm working on now. And I was up like at 3 a.m. or something one night working on it, and wanted some distraction. Don't even know how I came across your movie Foreverland with Counterclockwise, and played it, and just sat there mesmerized, like, man, this is a trip. I love it, man. This is wild. And then so, here I am talking to you. And now I can't stop thinking about animation. I'm like, I can't wait to get done with my graphic novel. I sort of paced it out. It'll be like 3 months from now. And I'm already planning out my animation. Al's going to do music for me.
I'm totally pro getting people to do animation, unless they ask me to do it. But I want more people to get involved in animation. Animation to me is exactly like music. I don't understand why people don't think they could even try animation, because I think they put it up on some kind of technical pedestal where they'll never reach that level. But it's
that's
like
that's where it is for me. I mean,
yeah, but I mean with music, people
What's
do
that now?
music.
I said I can't draw. That's my problem.
Even that you can use models or something. Like they have these little 3D
Yeah.
models or 2D
Al,
models.
you have to do animation, Al. It's a requirement. Oh yeah, I was going to show you something, Jim. So I was inspired by you, so I already got started on my my first animation. Here he is. This guy here, Al. I told you about it too. Can you see the guy? The vampire killer.
Oh, cool.
Here he is. See him? I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know if you can see him. He's a
Yeah.
vampire
Yeah.
killer. Werewolves. He does werewolves too. So my first,
You want to do the 30-second spot on?
30-second tutorial on how to kill vampires. Let's go. That's what I'm planning it out. That's my first
Well, that's
animation.
cool. Yeah. And now you know where to get music from.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah. I got Al. Voiceover, music guy.
That's what you need.
Does
So
hey Jim, does music drive your writing?
yeah, I think it does. Yeah, I think sometime I did a thing called San Giorno Must Die, and it's very, very 80s, like Brian De Palma. It's really like just Miami Vice, Scarface, but it's over the top, serious, kind of European too. And that all came from me. Well, for one, I like 80s music, but it also came from that whole vibe of just the music kind of drove the visuals and stuff, and that's really strong. I think when you can find something that inspires you like that, it comes out really strong.
Yeah, because I can't write without music, and I don't know if you ever how many other times you've gone through writer's block, but I had a scene in the story that Paul read, which took me 6 months to come up with. It was the scene in the bar where she's taking some shots. It's a 2-minute scene. Literally took me 6 months to come up with it, and it was just one piece of music.
Al, I don't know if you visited his page, but in 6 months he's made like 15 movies.
Well, you know what? No,
writer's block for you has got to last about 30 seconds, man.
I have the cure, the all-encompassing cure for writer's block, and that is stop caring.
You gotta lower your standards, Al.
Just throw those standards
I
out.
got invested in this one particular story. I had to hire a second writer to go over it and do the 12th rewrite, because I can't look at it anymore without thinking it's perfect when it's not.
Very, very early on, I decided to become more like a Nirvana than a Phil Spector. Meaning, I just wanted to keep it simple, where I could just be very flexible and just go here, there, and that instead of this sounds horrible. Instead of really putting a lot of effort into every stage, and
Right.
There's nothing wrong with it, because that's how you get masterpieces come out like that too. But it's just a different style and a different technique.
Yeah. And Al, you have a complete screenplay, which I think is like one of our previous guests said. You're in rare company there.
Right.
I think it's good just the way it is. But you're working on improving it. But
Yeah, that's how you become a guy that has a screenplay rather than a guy that's working on a screenplay.
yeah, that's it.
Very
Man.
important.
That's it. That's one of the things that drove me on my first book was, I just want to have one that I've done, and it's done. So
Yeah. That's like you have the book there, the graphic novel there.
yeah, yeah.
See, what you're doing right now by able to pull out that graphic novel and show it off was my dream. I wanted to be like,
Boom.
Here's a whole movie in this book.
Yeah, that's what I feel
so
like.
cool.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, hold up the book.
Yeah. This is one thing, and you looked through it a little bit, Jim. But
Yeah.
I don't know if you recognize the inspiration behind the look of the character.
I never could figure it out.
I don't know. So,
Because I remember when he first came up with the whole idea behind this. That was back in '87.
It's been a long time, man.
Yeah, which brings up a good point because you just mentioned my writer's block lasting 6 months. He's made in 6 months, 30 movies. You came up with that idea in 1987. What year is it now?
I know it took me like 3 years.
You're you're making Star Trek, Star Wars, and I'm making what's that?
Spaceballs.
The little girl that was a robot. I forget the TV show. I'm making like sitcoms.
Yeah, like what was that?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. I can't think of the name of that show.
Space Theater. Yeah.
No, it'll come. It's a really cheesy sitcom with a little girl who's supposed to be a robot.
Yeah.
And sure, somebody's watching this, pounding their head, going, "Yeah, there's the title. There's the title right here." It's their favorite show.
So let's talk about Foreverland for a few minutes. I have this description of Foreverland, which is the movie I found you on. It's Counterclockwise in Foreverland is the title of it. You can find it on YouTube. Jim Lujan is the director of it. And I would describe it as The Matrix meets Beavis and Butthead meets Natural Born Killers meets Thriller. It's an hour-long animated feature that'll trip you out. In fact, I got my wife to watch it the other night, and she said, I don't know, I feel like we should be high or something.
Well, usually after watching it, you are naturally a little bit
We got
high.
a contact buzz from watching it?
Yeah. That's exactly how I would describe it. Exactly how you...
When I was watching, I didn't get to watch the whole thing yet, but when I was watching it, I was thinking of heavy metal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what else?
The hip-hop version of heavy metal.
Yeah.
Wizards, too. Wizards. This is maybe somebody that has seen Wizards and go, oh, yeah, that's a lot like Wizards there. They might not believe this statement, but the truth is I didn't see Wizards, the movie, until about 3 or 4 months ago. I was already almost done with Foreverland. But I think subconsciously I must have seen it as a kid or seen parts of it as a kid. And then, because there's a lot of similarities, I look at it and go, oh, yeah, it has a very Wizards vibe. And I love Ralph Bakshi. Anyway, so that probably stuck in my head, too. Lord of the Rings is one of my... I love his Lord of the Rings.
Oh, is that the one that came out in 1980?
Yeah, it scared me.
Yeah, I love that one.
Yeah, me too. I like it probably more than the live action ones. I thought it scared the hell out of me, though.
Yeah, it did. I remember I was a kid when I first saw that. I was scared.
He did a film called Fire and Ice too. That's really good. I love that one.
I think I've heard that one too.
Yeah, that hit me at the right time. I was probably 13 when that came out. And
I think what I like what he did with Lord of the Rings was because it was animation, but he used live action too.
Yeah,
the animals were real. Some of the people in there were real, interacting with the animation.
Yeah, and I just found out he took the live footage. He took it from, there's an old, I want to say Russian movie that came out in the 20s, a silent movie, and I guess it was public domain. So, and I forget the name of it, but he took a lot of that footage, and he used it in Lord of the Rings and in Wizards.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh,
so
okay.
Kind of cool. So kids,
it was that cheesy. It wasn't that cheesy Rush. Do you ever watch Mystery Science Theater?
That's the show I was trying to think of.
Yes, yes.
They showed some cheesy, horrible Russian movie, it had some elements of Middle Earth stuff going on, and they were just blazing the crap out of it. I'm wondering if he was using footage from that.
You know, I'm sitting right here with the second most powerful tool in the world behind the brain, which is the internet. I'm looking at trying to find what Ralph Bakshi.
And don't get sidetracked now, Jim.
Yeah. I'm gonna pretend like I'm not looking. But
your story about how you watched the movie after you were done with your movie. Mm-hmm. I swear I came up, and Al just corroborated, I came up with Detective Perez before President Obama was elected. So So
Well,
everybody knows.
I haven't read
Relevance to that. I'm not sure where you're going, but all right.
Yeah,
Just the fact that he kind of looks like Obama too. So
you think a little bit? I don't know. Let me see it again. Let me see him again.
Everyone calls me Obama, so.
Do they tell you thanks, Obama?
Yeah.
Well, also you mentioned that you liked '80s music, and we're hoping to get a friend of mine on. She's a singer in an '80s band. You should tune in when that one comes up.
What band is this band?
They're a local band here in Michigan called Star Farm.
Oh, okay, cool. I love stuff like that.
Yeah, they've got a web page.
There was a time when I was going to see tribute bands a lot. We could see like a David Bowie tribute band or like a.
They're huge. They're hugely popular.
Yeah.
Well, there's a couple times I walk into the bar when they're playing, and the drummer will stop and say, President Obama just walked in. Everyone turns and looks at me. I'm like, come on.
Well, you shouldn't carry Secret Service with you. That's probably why they.
Yeah.
How do you want to talk some technical stuff, like how you do your music or how you do your what software you use for?
Yeah, sure.
Why don't you guys talk music?
Music. I used to do.
You do your own music, right?
Yeah, I do my own music for my films. Foreverland, Deacon and Kaya, counterclockwise, did a lot of the music for that. But for my own films, I would do most of the music. What I would do is, I used to either record it separately on a multi-track. Like early on, I used a Tascam recorder, 4-track recorder, and that was fun. I used to create the music on those, and then mix it down to a cassette tape, and then somehow import it. Before I was using the computer, I used to call my style ghettomation. In fact, that's a great way to describe it, because it was like I would just use any method to get it on the film. I would use audio video dub on a VHS to do my cartoons.
Like take your iPhone and record the TV.
This is before the iPhone. And once I got onto the computer, then I just started. I'd usually use the audio in, and I would import my music that way. But in the last few years, I've been using like a keyboard like this, or GarageBand even. So yeah, so a lot of it's. I use a lot of live instruments too, though. I mean, I have guitar and bass and stuff like that, but a lot of it's done through the keyboard. I love, especially being able to come up with those, like a lot of cheesy, synth sounds and stuff.
Yeah.
Very cinematic stuff. I love that stuff.
Yeah, I do too. I think it's awesome. And you do most of that on your keyboard?
Yeah, most of it. And then a lot of times, if it has vocals on it, I have a few folks that have kind of my go-to vocalists. One really good friend of mine, Nisam, his name, he's been my theme song singer for forever, since I first started doing cartoons. And then my brother Bob, he's done a lot of theme songs for me. And then I've done some here and there, but usually I'll go to one of those guys. And but that's one of the most fun parts about is coming up with the music, or even selecting music to be in it. It's really, and like Al mentioned, it's really important. It drives everything.
Yeah. What about your acting? How would you do you consider yourself? Well, I'm a huge fan. Would you consider yourself an actor, or did you even look at yourself like that? Actor.
More of an actress, I think.
Well, that's what
I think by default. Yeah, only when the lights go down. No, I think by default by default, yes, I'm an actor.
Did you ever want to be an actor? Is that something you reluctantly do? I mean,
I never wanted to be an actor, and I never wanted to be a wannabe actor. So I never thought about it. I just, early on, I did everything on my films out of necessity, because I wanted the films to exist, and I could not make my imaginary friends real. So
right.
otherwise I'd have a big crew. so I just said, well, I'll just do this and do that, and that's how that happened. And I never thought about like I don't use scripts. I use kind of thumbnails. Like I'll do a thumbnail for a cartoon, and I'll write little notes. Oh, he has to say this, or make sure you say this on this part, and then I just kind of assemble it like that.
And
but
you're primarily ad-libbing as you go.
Sort of. Like I'll have a scene where, well, and for when we did Foreverland, because when I worked with whenever I work with other people, I mean, I can assemble a script. It's not a problem. But with Foreverland, we just did like 4 or 5 lines of dialogue at a time. So I would send them lines, and then they would record the lines. But they also would totally ad-lib stuff and send me stuff that was great, and it was better than what I even sent them originally.
Yeah, that's the beauty of collaborating. When you sit down and make a graphic novel, or what I find is, I feel like it can get stale, because you're just in this little bubble, and it's hard to get some feedback.
Exactly. That's what I was going through, so that's why I brought in another writer.
So that's got to be fun to work with other people, especially creative people, like counterclockwise,
Yeah, I love it. I love working. I never worked solo out of sheer choice. And we were joking earlier about how I have so many films, but that's another reason I have so many films is because I figured out a method and then actually there were other animators that I kind of looked at, and I took things from here and from there. That's why it was called Ghettomation too, because it was all duct taped together.
Yeah.
Like a little bit of this guy's style, a little bit of this guy's style, and that made it easier for me to build up a body of work, because I was able, if you make your method easy to do and something that you'll actually do, then you'll do it. That's why
I feel like that, definitely.
That's why it's much easier to go to Burger King than it is to go to the gym, because it's or fill in the blank, any other fast food place, because it's easier, and it's because it's more enjoyable than going to the gym. And for anybody that says the opposite, you're part of the 1 percentage. There's not that many people that go, I want the burn instead of a burn.
All right, I'm getting into John Arthur Fabregato territory here, Jim, but you have fantastic animation. It's very artistic. Why? Why do you do it?
Wow. I think it's because I get these different ideas that are strong enough in my mind to motivate me to put them out into the public, because I want to make films. That's another big thing. That's why I'm not a gag animator. Nothing against gag animators, but guys who do 10-second little quick gags or parody animation, that's great. I enjoy that like everybody else, but I wanted to do stories, and I think that's what drives me to do it, is because I feel like I need to. It's a compulsive thing.
Yep.
In other words, you couldn't quit if you tried.
I could not quit if I tried. If they unplugged me, I'd still be doing this if there was no electricity.
This is a theme with our guest, because that was Ken. He said, I couldn't quit if I tried. Frank said, I have an idea in my, inside of me that I need to get out. And if I don't, I feel a loss, like something died, so.
I think I used to say this to my wife, if I don't create, I feel constipated. So that's why
really, I feel constipated while I'm creating.
I make a lot of shit. So. That's a good quote from my book.
Awesome. All right, now we're to the point in the podcast where we share a random event from the recent week or recent days or minutes, or I don't know, pull it out of wherever you want. Al, you got anything?
My only crazy thing is I had a dream the other day which involved a friend from Facebook. Her name's Anna. She lives in Montreal, I think, and never met her, but I had a dream I was in Starbucks with her and a man with 3 disfigured arms, and she was cussing me out for being at Starbucks. And I have no idea where that dream. That's why I think I've gone insane.
How tall was she in your dream?
She was sitting down, so I don't know. Well, and the irony of that whole thing is she's from Canada, and Canadians are really nice people. Yet she was being extremely rude to me.
No. I actually work with a bunch of people from Montreal. They're French Canadians. They're not nice.
That's true. That's a different batch.
Yeah, exactly. It's a completely different animal.
Yeah, they they were trying to secede. I remember I went to Canada, going to Toronto once, and I kept yelling out the car every time I saw a Quebec license plate. And that's back remember when they were trying to secede from Canada? I kept yelling at them, "You damn Quebecers!" That's all I got. I've been working too hard this last week.
Jim, what's been going on? Anything random, weird?
Well, I've been all right with the Canadians. They've been all right.
Nice goalie.
The only Canadians we get down here are visiting usually. I'm in Southern California.
Yeah, I was going to mention that.
Are you familiar with Redlands College?
Yeah, I know where that.
My nephew just graduated from there.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he wants to get into film production.
Cool. Well, network. Let's network.
Yep.
Let me ask you something, Jim. Before you go on, are you from there?
Yeah.
Lived there your whole life?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Born and raised. Speaking of Redlands, I did a cartoon called Unchained Fists.
That was the second one I watched, by the way.
Yeah.
And it was just crazy. Al, you should watch it, man.
That's in Redlands.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'll get with my.
See, you can go anywhere with animation. You can go anywhere. Yeah. And he goes to Redlands.
I could have gone to Paris. I could have gone to Brussels, and I went to Redlands. All right, my event for the week, this last week, we did a screening of Foreverland at Pitzer College in Claremont, California. Really, it's part of what's called the Claremont Colleges, and those Claremont colleges put guys out that basically invent these amazing technological wonders. Like, they put out geniuses. They're known for a lot of the software people went to the Claremont colleges. A lot of world leaders went to Claremont colleges. And I was sitting there thinking, wow, I'm playing my cartoons here. This is pretty nice. So that was it. And about 2 hours after my screening, a group of us went over to see Godzilla. So I was sitting in the theater watching my film, and then 2 hours later, maybe an hour later, I was watching Godzilla. And no lie, I remember at some point thinking, wow, I actually like my film better.
Really?
Yeah, I think so.
Al,
I'm planning to go see that this week. I'm waiting for the hype to die down.
Yeah, it's I'd be curious to see what you think, if there's enough Godzilla in it. You tell me.
Well, that brings up, you just brought up a good point. When I first saw the trailer at the IMAX, and what they were doing, did you ever see Cloverfield?
Yes.
Okay, they're using some of that in that they don't show too much of the monster, and I like that.
After you see it, we have to touch base, because when you mentioned Cloverfield, just keep that word in mind after you watch it, and then you'll go, oh, that's what you're talking about. Oh, okay.
I mean, I like Cloverfield.
I like that. I liked it too. The Godzilla monster in this movie, I like. I have no complaints with the monster itself. That was great, but I just wish there was more Godzilla.
As long as Matthew Broderick's not in it.
Yeah, he's in. Oh, and Sarah Jessica Parker's in it too. Except Matthew Broderick plays.
I don't need to go see it.
He plays Ferris Bueller in this movie. Godzilla chases him in that little red car. It's kind of cool.
Well, we had a discussion on Facebook, actually, Al and I, about movies a little bit earlier this week. And I don't know about Godzilla. I'm kind of getting the Independence Day vibe on that one. There's all this build up and hype to it, and Al and I actually went to see. This was so long ago. It might have been I don't know when Independence Day came out, but we went to see that together. Al, do you remember that? That was the shittiest movie.
I'm on the same page as you guys with that exactly.
And it was crazy because we're sitting in this jam-packed theater because that's what we started talking about. Never go see a movie opening night, okay, right? Because we're sitting in this jam-packed theater, and they were cheering. The people, they're clapping, and me and we're looking at each other like,
oh man, we're so on the same, and there's so many good people in that movie. Like there's like so many good actors. They could, like had all the recipe, and the previews were so good for Independence Day. They were so good.
The build up, like the White House,
and the one-liners. That's when I always started tuning out. But then when an Apple II laptop computer was somehow compatible with the computer system of the Super
right, when it took us like an hour to get Skype on the right version,
That's when I knew we were living in idiocracy in that universe.
That's when I threw in the towel. I said, all right, I'm out. I'm
done. My thing from this week was I broke my microphone. I dropped it off my desk when I draw. And it fell off my desk and it broke. So I bought a new one. I had to replace it. I don't even know if it serves no purpose, but I have to have it. I feel like like an old time radio guy or something.
You didn't throw your microphone down after you just busted a rhyme? You can't do that in real life.
Speaking of which, this is my goal in life. I am going to get on American Idol.
Awesome.
All right, now this is what's going to happen though, and tell me this would make me a freaking YouTube sensation overnight. Is I'm going to walk out, and all I'm going to say is, I am the greatest voice you're never going to hear. Now drop the mic and walk out.
I'd buy that album.
Tell me I would have 1 million hits on YouTube within 30 seconds.
But is that show even on anymore?
Yeah, it's still on, believe it or not.
I'm a voice man. The Voice. That's strictly The Voice.
I can't stand any of those shows, dude. I just had a conversation about this. Those shows are destroying music.
Yeah. I don't know why these talented people put themselves through it when they could be in a character. Yeah.
Bubblegum pop.
We're on the same page again. Bring back the variety show. That's what I say.
Hey, Jim, there's another question. This is Fabricado territory before we end.
Sure.
What is your dream job?
Oh, wow. My dream?
Because I can see we're catching you right now. You're on your way up, and we're going to be chopped liver pretty soon, man. You're going to be a superstar.
Man, the minute I hang this up, chopped liver. No.
What would be your ultimate job in this?
It would be probably...
Don't say Disney. Don't say Disney.
No. Independent.
Do an animated version of Independence Day meets Godzilla.
I want to just work at Disneyland. My dream job. Well, it would be
guess people's birthday, or
I guess I do what one of my idols is doing, one of my heroes. Idols that's a weak word. One of my, and he's not a mentor because I don't know, Mike Judge, what he's doing. I would love to take animated films as far as I can and have as much fun, and then dabble in live action here and there. But I think it would be ultimately to be some sort of producer, where I can, what I want to do? I want to do what George Lucas did with his laser pointer. I want to sit there and go, okay, change that and do that. Okay, move that over there. and I think that's what I like to do. And I like being hands-on and a hands-on artist, so I always want to be.
How do you like Robert Rodriguez as a filmmaker?
I think Robert Rodriguez as a filmmaker is doing what he wants to do, exactly what he wants to do, and I think that's very, very, very inspirational. Some of his stuff I like. I mean, some of it I think the Sin City movie was great. Even what, and here's the other thing too. I think with Robert Rodriguez, you take a movie like Shark Boy and Lava Girl. Well, yeah, you would say that, I would say that, but a kid would love it.
Right.
He made it,
for his kids.
His son even wrote that.
Yeah, right.
Wasn't Rodriguez involved in the latest 300?
No.
I could have swore I saw his name pop up as a producer.
I don't know. Maybe that I don't know.
It's kind of his speed. I mean,
Yeah,
the
I think he
animation.
popped up as a producer. He wasn't. He didn't. It wasn't one of the major producers, but he was. He had some influence on that film, I think.
Yeah, that's another guy I'd like to be able to do what he's doing. So
Yeah,
I
mean,
guess
I think he takes like I saw Once Upon a Time in Mexico, which was
Yeah, that was good.
I didn't like that, but I loved the one with Salma Hayek in it.
isn't she's not in that one?
Yeah.
Oh, she is in it.
Yeah, that's the one with Johnny Depp with his eyes.
Johnny Depp. Yeah. Anyway, it just seems like he's kind of takes shortcuts or something.
What did you think of? Did you see the 300 movies?
Yeah.
What did you think?
I liked them. I to me, I give 300 a pass because normally I don't like movies that look like real CGI'd out.
Right.
But I was just talking with my friend about this the other day. Here's why I give a movie like 300 and the sequel a pass, is because the CGI in those movies, they're using it to make it look like a painting almost. You know, it's like
right.
It's
they're not trying to make it look
realistic.
They're not trying to make it look real, right?
Yeah, and what I didn't like
CGI is cool.
Yeah, and what I really didn't like about The Hobbit, let's say, in general, I liked the movie The Hobbit. I thought it was okay. I thought it was way too long, but I thought it was okay.
Agree with that.
But they could have made it all one movie, but that's another story. But what I didn't like that scene when they're going through the mines at the end of the first Hobbit, where they're getting chased by the goblins or whatever. It looks like a video game. Like it looks like, or the Spider-Man movies, the new Spider-Man movies. They look like a video game, and it doesn't look like they set out for it to look like a fantasy. It looks like they set out for it to look semi-realistic, and it just doesn't. To me, it doesn't work. It takes me out of the movie. Whereas the 300 movies look like, I mean, there's no sense of real. They're not even trying to be realistic. They're just trying to make it look like an oil painting or something, and I think that's cool. I like that.
I like them both. I like the first one better, but I think I got a feeling there's going to in about 2-3 years there's going to be a third one.
Yeah, I like the second one better because it had boobs.
Good point.
Female boobs.
She was hot. It was. I don't know, Paul. Have you seen it yet?
No, but I'm going to.
It's it's a pretty violent scene with the boobs.
Violent boobs. I can't resist.
So that's actually a really great '80s band, the Violent Boobs.
I played drums for them. I'll admit it. Awesome, Jim. Thanks for coming on, man. I could talk to you. We didn't even get into the technical stuff about your, illustrations and the animation, but I think it's just incredible. I'm a huge fan now.
We can bring him back on when we do the second show. You can still come on.
Yeah, if I'm available when you guys have Counterclockwise on, I'll for sure join. I'm just so busy in Hollywood these days.
It's like this, Al. We're chopped liver.
You guys are canned tuna.
Remove contacts.
So yeah, I'm definitely wait, did I already do this? Or I showed you guys this, right? I'm drawing vampires. They're gonna be dead. So
yeah.
I'm planning it out. I'm gonna hit you up for some tips.
I can get one person to animate. It's all been worth it.
You got me, man. This is great stuff. Jim Lujan, catch him on YouTube or www.jimlujan.com. Yeah, again, thanks for coming on. This has
fun.
Yep.
We're definitely we're the same wavelength. Especially with that Independence Day talk, man. These guys are my guys, man. I'm on the same page.
Yeah. Are you working on anything right now?
I'm gonna start, and this would almost open a whole nother chapter. I'm right at the verge of starting the Bill Plimpton collaboration movie. That's a movie that's actually we're doing. So that's gonna happen very, very, very soon. Script is done for that, so we actually start work on that really soon. And I'm fiending to do my own, get back to doing my own movie. So that'll happen probably soon. But right now, I'm in this weird mini limbo. So, you know what I am doing? Doing a lot of animated ads. So if anybody's watching,
getting paid.
Yeah, if they want to ad for their business, look up my stuff and just drop me a line, and then you'll get a magical commercial.
Awesome.
So.
Awesome.
Great.
All right. Well, this is the. Go ahead, Al.
I just sent Jim a friend request.
Oh, okay.
All right.
You see, let me unblock Al real quick. I'm just gonna reply to it. Thanks, Obama.
Hey, Al, this is a great one too. There's in Fuego. If you go through Jim's videos, in Fuego, he's got a police officer, Perez, on there.
Oh yeah. It's like a coincidence.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'll go through it.
Yeah, they're all nuts. They're great. They're like 5-10 minutes long, and they're stories, complete stories, you know. And man, I just thoroughly enjoy them. Anyway, okay, this has been the Beige Planet Podcast. I'm Paul Pate.
I'm Al Lawrence.
Jim Lujan. Thanks for coming on, man.
All right, thank you guys for having me. This is like, and I'm sure people are going to say this afterwards, like, they chatted. They chatted.